right, Shalom. This is Hara 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth, man. Hey, these are some wonderful times that we're living in. Scary times, but also beautiful times to be living in. All right. We're in a heavy time of prophecies kicking off. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start off with this scripture. All right. This is Jeremiah 1 and verse 9. Then Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth. Right. That's what the Lord has done with you if you're in this truth and you're prophesying his word. He's touched your mouth, have you speaking his word. All right, so somebody can read the scriptures all they want, but the Lord has to touch your mouth and bless you to be able to speak the truth. All right, it's called the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth. And Yahweh said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. All right, and his words are what? Words of truth, words of righteousness, and also words of prophecy. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, right? By us being rulers in this truth. That's what the Lord said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Right? Being prophets, we're set over the nations. Even though we're in a time of prophesying and teaching. Okay? It says to root out, to pull down, pulling down strongholds, and to destroy, and to throw down. Same thing he told Peter. All right? Anything you bind upon earth shall be bound in heaven. Anything you loose upon earth shall be loosed in heaven. See, we have that same power. All right? To build and to plant. Okay? Because scripture say that one man planteth, another man watereth, but it's the Most High that gives the increase. And the building is building through edification, building up the nation of Israel. So he gave us that power as workmen, carpenters, spiritual carpenters, trustees for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, watch it. He said, set us over the nations and watching over our people. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? All right. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Jeremiah started prophesying around 627 BC. So at that time, the prophecies were kicking off. That was late into the rulership of Josiah. I think King Josiah of Judah, he ruled from 641 to, I think it was 609, until his son took over Jehoiakim. So Jeremiah was seeing Babylon coming to manifestation, because in 627 BC, that's when Nebuchadnezzar started the kingdom of Babylon and separated from his people, the Assyrians, right? The royal bloodline of the Assyrians, the Asherites. So he separated from them, linked up with the Hamites and a lot of the Syrians, all right, Chaldeans, and he started a place called Babylon. Okay. And once Babylon was established, and the Lord was going to raise up Babylon, or Nebuchadnezzar, to take over all the kingdoms at that time, especially the Israelites, because our people were being judged. All right. So this was a time of prophecy that was kicking off heavy during the time of Jeremiah. The same thing that we're seeing today. We're in a time of heavy prophecy kicking off, man. Kicking off like Jean-Claude Van Damme. It says, moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. All right. And it says, right, because he basically saw the almond tree budding. Okay. And to see the almond tree budding, that means the time of harvest was close. Okay. So that's what this meant, the time of prophecy. He said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said Yahweh unto me, thou hast seen well. I will hasten my word to perform it. All right. So the Lord was saying he's going to hasten his word to perform it. All right. So now today, this is Ecclesiastes 12:5. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, man. See, these kingdoms. The Lord is raising up these kingdoms against this place, America. Those, what they call them? Kingdoms. You know what I mean? All right, like Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. The heavenly angels, Yahweh, everything's raising up against mainly the wicked, but Esau, 2/3 of our people, and the focus is going to be on the whole earth. But the Most High says what? He has a sacrifice in Basra, all right, and in Idumea, and that's talking about right here in America. So this is the place of that he's going to target first. All right. And also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, man, and fears shall be in the way. See, they're starting to see it. People starting to see that World War III is breaking out. Economic collapse is coming. They say it's going to be a dark winter. All right, so you got war breaking out between Russia and NATO now. Just the other day, I may do a lesson on it, but there was a NATO strike. They try to say it's a Ukrainian strike. Allegedly, it's a NATO strike, but we know because Ukraine can't make any moves without talking to NATO first. But they use Britain missiles to attack the Northern Sea Fleet or the Black Sea Fleet of Russia. Actually struck their building, their naval building. Allegedly killed one general. So now Russia has attacked a German tank, or a tank with German soldiers in it. All right, and Germany is a NATO ally. So check this out. It says Ecclesiastes 12:5. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, man. See that? The almond tree represents those prophecies of flourishing. We're in the time of heavy prophecy kicking off. All right, and the grasshopper shall be a burden. I mean, it's the smallest thing is a burden to this place now. Anything move wrong, this place gonna fall apart. All right, that's the smallest thing, like a grasshopper, shall be a burden. Okay, and that goes into things tearing down this system as well. And desire shall fail. So everything people hope for, the 401ks, trying to be famous, riches, this American dream is starting to fade. All right, because they're seeing the destruction coming. You talk to somebody, average Jake now, they still not awake, but they know about Russia. You say, hey, you heard about? Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, I heard about that. It's like, whoa, okay. Started to feel the flames a little bit, huh? It says, and desire shall fail because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about in the streets. So there's gonna be a lot of death out here, man. A lot of death, man. All right, and we know about they're about to do soon the activation. So that's gonna bring a lot of death as well. Be a lot of death through war. This is part of their whole. This is a part of their alleged depopulation plan. But guess what? It's part of the Lord's depopulation plan too. All right. So a few brothers in this camp um, have already done lessons on it, on this topic. Brother Zariah, you can check his page out. I might try to put it in the description area. And then you check his page, and he put the other brother's video in his description. All right, so I'm not sure who else did the lesson, but this is the topic right now, man. This is the times we in. Okay. I got this off some brother's page on social media. I don't know his name, but I just borrowed it for the article. It says, the world holds their breath as Putin orders 3,000 nuclear missile troops to be combat ready. 3,000 nuclear missile troops. And that's their focus. That's their department, is the nuclear missiles. And he told them to be combat ready. And you know the unveiling of the Satan II missile, which is a nomen omen. Satan II missile. That they it's like Babylon 2. It's kind of like Babylon 1, Babylon 2. But they have the designated missiles for this place. All right. So 3,000 nuclear missiles, troops to be combat ready. You know, the scripture says it's going to be 200 million missiles and warheads, man. That's going to be shot off, and it's going to hit this place. So 3,000 nuclear missile troops to be combat ready. That's important right there. This prophecy. All right, let's get that real quick. This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this war will be with burning and fuel of fire. What's that? Nuclear missiles. They call it uranium, plutonium. Okay, scriptures call it coals of fire, brimstone. You know, turn this place to a lake of fire. So this war is what? Going to be with burning and fuel of fire. So they're setting the stage for that. All right, at first, it was a proxy war. At first, it was just a propaganda war, economic war. They're at war that way now. All right, the proxy war, which is basically modern missiles and modern weapons and technology, sabotage. But now they're moving to different forms of nuclear attacks, to small tactical nukes, suitcase nukes, EMPs, and the ICBM. You already know. Okay, so that's what. Ever since World War II, this world has stepped into what's called the nuclear age because of America. All right, because of America, because the Most High used America to dig their own ditch, gave them the shovel to begin to dig their own ditch. The scriptures say that a snare is laid under thee. All right. I may try to bring it out in the next lesson, but a trap is has been set, and thou was not aware. Okay, so the Lord, let me get that. All right, this is Isaiah 14 and 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. So the Most High is the one mustering and stirring up the host of the battle. All right, so Russia's getting ready. All these nations are getting ready for war, and they're ready. They're gonna they're gonna be ready when the dragon or the beast makes its move. European, Western Europe, NATO, and America. When they make their move, the Lord gonna have these nations ready and established, the BRICS nations, okay, to destroy this place. It stirreth up the dead for thee. See, the dead represents these heathens, like Putin. And even all the chief ones of the earth, not just Putin, not just Gog and Magog, but also China, Iran, North Korea, you know. All these nations want to get a piece of America. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So now America is being brought down into that level of a third world country. All right. It says, thy pomp or thy greatness is brought down to the grave, man. So this place is being brought low and destroyed. And the noise of thy vows, all right, the scriptures say that the mirth of the land is gone. All right, the fame of this place, the American dream. And the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, man. That's talking about this place being brought down continually until it's destroyed. All right. So let's get back to this article. It says the world holds their breath, right? Because let's get that real quick, so I can. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Why? Because this is going to be a world war. All right, World War III. It's going to be destruction all over the earth, man. Except for America's going to be turned to a lake of fire, dust, the smell of smoke. All right, so woe to the world, man. So the Lord is saying destruction's coming. They holding their breath because it's going to happen. All right, for the sword, it goes into those missiles, and their destruction draweth nigh. So we're seeing the swords, the missiles be displayed, and they're being combat ready, and their destruction is next. And one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hand. We're seeing that. We're seeing the nations ramping up, pointing their missiles at America. You know? And we're seeing sedition among men all around the world. All right, so I'm going to get on this article. The Lord said, woe to the world, man. But the world holds their breath as Putin orders 3,000 nuclear missile troops to be combat ready. All right. Vladimir Putin and his inner circle have regularly boasted about the size of Russia's huge nuclear weapons arsenal since the start of the Ukraine war. They got a huge nuclear weapons arsenal. Who do you think helped to build that arsenal up? You know, Yahweh prepared Russia. That's why they're the bear. The word bear means to be enough or to be established. Okay? Let's get this. It says here, I'm trying to read these small words. It says, the combat drills followed confirmation from the Kremlin that Putin's Satan II, his nuke, was placed on combat duty for the first time, I think. In addition to preparing for treacherous mountain terrain and western attacks, the troops also ran drills on active electronic suppression and intensive actions of saboteurs. Sheesh. So they're gonna be getting into weapon sabotage, and they just preparing their troops, man. All right, making them experts at handling the missiles, and also defending against missiles. It says here, they also educated the thousands of soldiers on how to fight back against the West on Putin's prized and devastating arsenal of nuclear weapons, all right, against attacks from the West. So he preparing them to defend, all right, not only to attack, but to defend their country and their enterprise and their weapons infrastructure. So they're training. He's training his soldiers, educating them on how to defend their homeland, and that's prophecy. That's Ezekiel 38. The use of such weapons on Ukraine and the West would be a huge, drastic step. They say he's stepping, right? A huge, drastic step from the Russian president, as it forced NATO to immediately strike back in a scenario that would undoubtedly trigger World War III. So they're gonna try to put it on Russia, but we all know that Russia was hit first. All right. So it's all propaganda. It says here, the clip, I guess they had a video clip, it shows thousands of soldiers training and yards thermonuclear. So this is going to be thermonuclear. What's that? Thermo. All right. So we know thermo goes into light or wavelengths. You know, thermo is deals with heat. And that's where you get dealing with levels of radiation. That's where you get light from. All right. Heat can make static can make heat, and heat can make light. Okay. So it says thermodynamics, which means related to heat. So this, man, let me see this real quick. All right, just real quick. This is Ezekiel 22 and 19. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh the power, because ye are all become dross. Now, this is talking about 2/3 today that have become that scum. All right, that leftover scum that has to be destroyed. Therefore, I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, now they're being gathered in the midst of America. All right. And as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin, all these nations, you know, being wicked and jade, which are all alloys, okay, except for, I think, silver. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace. Okay, and America is that furnace today. Malachi 4:1, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. It says to blow the fire upon it and to melt it, man. And what melts it? The fire and that heat. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. All right, yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. Ye shall know that I, Yahweh, have poured out my fury upon you, right? Right, so these people are going to know it in that day. They're going to know that it was the Lord that did it. All right, they're going to see Yahweh Shai, and they're going to know it's Yahweh judging them. They're going to try to run to the holes of the rocks and, try to hide in the bunkers and into the mountains. Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, right? And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. All right. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves. See, it's going to be a witness to themselves. This was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. So it's going to be strange salvation for the elect, because they think we're nothing right now. But when they see Yahweh is dealing with us, all right, this is Revelation 6:12. And I beheld, when I opened the sixth seal, when he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. So if you were to take an afro and pass it in front of the sun, that's how dark it's going. In front of a light, it's going to get that dark out here from the nuclear fallout. All right, that's what's left after destruction. And the moon became as blood from all the pollution that's going to be in the air and radiation. All right, and the stars of heaven fell upon the earth, and that goes into the missiles. Even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind, right? Because the Lord has a what? Look at that. All right, Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. All right, so, and the Lord said he's going to gather the wicked 2/3 and these heathens, into the midst of this furnace, America. All right, and the Lord is raising up what? A destroying wind against this place. Okay, and I will send unto Babylon fanners, man. So fanners just goes into enemies. So the Lord raised up contenders to go against this place, that shall fan her. So they're gonna scatter and put fear into this place. That's what they're doing. Ramping up their missile technology, showing it, revealing it to the world. All right. Controlling the pace of the fight, going into the nuclear stage now, preparing their soldiers, creating new alliances around the world. They're being established by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and fast too. All right, so they're going to scatter this place. They're going to cause this place to tremble. Why? Because they're shouting against it round about. And the worm is spread under this place, the destruction. And shall empty her land. So this place is going to be empty. It's going to be a sea of glass. For in the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about. So they're going to be ready when the Lord is ready to judge this place. All those nations, it's going to be completed. They're going to be perfected for war. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. So America brought the atomic bomb on the scene in World War II, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, they dropped those atomic bombs on Japan, and now that moved the world into the nuclear age, to where Russia was the next one to start displaying their nukes in the 1950s. So they became a contender for this place, America. Now, around the world that are able to prepare their missiles, to have missile technology, to have ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to have nuclear enrichment. The Lord said, what? Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. Okay, and the archers are these soldiers. And against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine would be like his missile defenses, and his protection. A brigandine is what those. I'm gonna show you. All right. So what's a brigandine? It says a coat of mail, typically one made of iron rings or plates attached to canvas or fabric. Right. A brigandine is a form of body armor from the Middle Ages. It is a garment typically made of heavy cloth, canvas, or leather, lined internally with small. It don't matter. So it's basically a form of body armor. So what protects America? These nations, their alliances, their military, their dollar, through sanctions. That was protecting this place. What else? Their politics. All right, they had missile defenses. If I didn't say it already, and their deterrence. That's what they were called. When they brought the nukes on the scene, or the atomic energy on the scene through the Germans, through what's Esau, man? Right, Teeman. When they brought all these different levels of war onto the scene, now that they were lifting themselves up in pride. Because of that, they had these deterrents. It became a protection for America. But now, in a defense, so they were lifting themselves up. All right, so verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. All right, that's why it said, beat your swords into plowshares. And against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, in his armor, his protection, his defense, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, man, all their army. So the Lord is raising up the kings of the east and all their armies, raising them up against the west. All right, let's read some more of this article real quick. The clip, I guess the video, shows thousands of soldiers training in YARS thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right, are feared throughout the world because of their massive 6,835 mile range. I think it's kilometers or miles. So that them ICBMs can go over 6,000 miles. Let me see something. All right, so it just this junk can go over 6,000 miles. All right. So you typed it in. How far is Russia from America? 5,000. They ain't gonna say that. They don't want to say it like that. Like, yeah, America's scared because they could actually get hit. Says the junk go. They can go past America, 6,000 something miles. A pure missile up their damn ass. Explosion. 5,518 miles. That's nothing to an intercontinental ballistic missile. Let's go back to this, man. Damn. Yeah. So they about right for fearing. It says it's thermal intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're feared throughout the world because of their massive 6,835 mile range. America's only 5,000. These drills, see, that's the big difference between Russia and America. America doesn't fully have the capability to launch ICBMs from America, the soil of America, all the way to Russia. They had to use ships and other things like that. But Russia has the capability to launch straight from the soils of Russia. It is drawn, it cometh out of the belly. And that's twofold because you also had the belly of the aircraft carriers and the submarines as well, where they shoot ICBMs. But intercontinental ballistic missile from the missile silos. It says these drills reportedly covered several elements, including how to maneuver on combat patrol routes in the nearby Ural mountain range. All right, sounds just like the article the brother Zaria was reading. Kind of vaguely similar, if not the same one. All right, so now, whoa, it says how a huge blow for Putin as America hands Zelensky's devastating wonder weapon. Wonder weapon. Wonder what it's gonna do. Yeah, okay. Are you wondering? Putin and them was getting ready, sharpening their swords. Yeah, you ain't got to wonder about Putin's weapons. They putting it out there. Ain't no wondering. You might wonder how many they got. You might wonder if you're still gonna be on the earth after they shoot them damn things off. It's Ezekiel 38:1. This is prophecy, man. So they're preparing their troops, training them to be combat ready, training them to defend the country and their military infrastructure, training them to protect their own missiles and not just attack. All right, so they're going to be trained all around, full circle. Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God. Because the Lord was saying, that's the country I'm going to use right there. So prophesy against them. And that's going to be the one I'm going to use to take down Babylon. All right. The same way he set up Jeremiah to prophesy against the north, which would be Nebuchadnezzar. Now we're prophesying against the north, which would be North America, but the north country beyond Alaska would be Russia. All right. I remember years ago, maybe about 4 years ago, Russia sent bombers down the east and west coast of America, and everybody was freaking out. But us in this truth, we already knew that there were many prophecies that had to play out first. And now we're living in the time of those prophecies. The MOTB, the digital system. But the thing that was noted during that time was that if the reason America didn't panic is because if Russia was going to do a nuclear strike with a bomber, it would come straight from the north and go over top of America, not just down the sides, east and west. It would come from the north, from Alaska, and over Canada and America. All right. So this is happening, man. It says, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. So they're the leading country, the ruling government over there in Eastern Europe, and they're going against Western Europe. All right, Eastern Europe used to be called the Soviet Union. So the Lord has brought the Soviet Union and bringing it back together. All right, so it can be destroyed too. But thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I am against thee. So even though he used Nebuchadnezzar, the Lord still destroyed Nebuchadnezzar. Even though the Lord is raising up Russia and establishing them, he's going to destroy them later on. All right, so he's against them. O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, that's the area of Eastern Europe, and the chief house, which would be Moscow or the Kremlin, And that's what NATO is attacking now. Crimea. Was it Crimea? Not Crimea. That might be a name. I can't remember the name of it. But I know Putin, the Kremlin. All right, they just attacked their Black Sea fleet, the Navy building. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, right? So they turned Russia back into that Soviet Union mindset, wanting to get those Soviet Union countries back. All right. So Ukraine is one of those countries that Russia want back up under their wing. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. All right. So 1991, the Soviet Union fell. 2016, the Soviet Union was back on the scene. Okay. As you had the Brexit. Because the European Union being established in 91 is what pushed Soviet Union, or the European Union being established, pushed the Soviet Union into silence and forced them to, they started building up their military infrastructure for 10 years, man. They've been building it up. That's why they got so many, they got stuff we can't even imagine. America has been through the orders of Western Europe. They've exhausted their resources and their army all around the world. Okay? It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into that jaw, so he's going to take control of them. Scripture say he controlled the minds and hearts of kings. He turns it whithersoever he will. So the Most High controlling Putin's mind right now. And I will bring thee forth. So we already watched this happen, because Russia has been brought forth. All right, like a hibernating bear, they've been brought forth onto the scene again, the BRICS nations. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, all of the army, horses and horsemen, man. All right, so the horses go into the technology and their military weapons, and everything that they can use and ride and control, tanks, APVs, helicopters, jets, bombers, whatever you name it. That's what they got. Whatever they got. All right, and also soldiers to control those weaponry, and also AI technology. I said all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. All right, so these military troops and these and their weapons and their vehicles are gonna be teched out with all kind of armor, man. They got the missile called the Invincible Missile. All right, let's see. It says clothed. Get that real quick. It says clothed, meaning wrapped around, to put on, garment. All right. Be arrayed. Okay. So they're going to be clothed with all sorts of armor. See, America lifted itself up in its brigandine, this armor, and now these nations have advanced armor and protection and missile defenses and strategy. It says abundant. So they're going to have abundance of protection, all right, for the captains and for the chiefs. Okay. So they're going to have all kind of armor and even a great, it says all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields. All right, so all of them going to have protection and shields. A buckler is this right here. All right, so a buckler is a shield surrounding the person. The targ or round form. So you had two different kinds. You had a big shield that you can hold up like on the movie 300, guarding you from foot, ankle to shoulder, and from shoulder to shoulder. But then you had another shield that you could just hold in your arm, like for close combat, and it, you can use it quick, like a small one. I'm gonna show you right here. See, they got the small ones, and this would be a buckler, and then you have so not only is the soldier dressed up and protected through the brigandine, but also through the buckler. All right, so the soldiers are being protected, given all kind of equipment. I remember one video with that. Remember this? I don't know if y'all remember this, man. Years ago, they had a Russian woman. You see that say Russia right there in black words? And it was a woman. She walked through a minefield and everything was blowing up. I don't know if y'all remember that. And it was showing, AIDS, right? So these troops, they're gonna have this type of armor, man. Look at that. They're brigandine. Look at that. All right. Yep. This says Russian Facebook videos shows Terminator woman walking through, missiles or minefield. Look at that. So that's what you're going to have to deal with. So they got it on the level, like here in America, you'll have mass shootings, and then they say, for instance, Jake pull out a little pistol, and then the guy that come, like down here in Jacksonville, it was a mass shooting, and Esau showed up with what? All kind of armor to stop from the bullets. So that put him up on a different level to what Jake would have with like a regular gun and no protection, and not armor piercing bullets. I think 50 cal is an armor piercing bullet as well, if I'm not mistaken, or 40 cal, something like that. I'm not too heavy into guns, but now you got it on the level of explosions and power and heat and fire, and she was able to walk through that shit like it was nothing. She ate that shit. Look at her, proud in the motherfucker. That would break you. They have something called the Ratnik program, and they've advanced way past all this, modernized everything, especially with their allies now, especially with China. Man, you can only imagine. It says Ratnik, meaning warrior. It's Russian for warrior. Is a Russian future infantry combat system. Some components, including communication systems, night vision technologies, have extremely limited military distribution. It is designed to improve the connectivity and combat effectiveness of combat personnel in the Russian armed forces. Improvements include modernized body armor, a helmet with a special eye monitor, thermal night vision, monocular flashlight, communicative systems, and special headphones. It includes 10 subsystems, 59 individual systems. Sheesh. All right, so they're advancing. Now, the Ratnik was first to be reported to be used during the annexation of Crimea. See, when Russia first started, when the Lord first started pulling Russia back into annexing those countries back to themselves. The word annex means to take something to yourself, and that's what Russia did. All right, they're trying to annex Crimea and all those Soviet Union countries back to the Soviet Union. All right, so that's when everything really kicked off after 2015 and 16. Okay, so it says here, the annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation in 2014. There were also reports that Russian troops have tested Ratnik components in combat operations. All right, so it says right here, it says Egyptian paratroopers wearing ratnik. So these other nations that's going to join with Russia, they most likely will be wearing that system of body technology, man. It's weird. It's like, then they got the damn AI technology and the what they call it, the skeletal structure, where it's like they can lift things and be all stronger and shit. All right. So it says the Ratnik gear is a system of modern protecting themselves, and communicative devices, weapons, and ammunition. So it's a defense, attack, and also being able to communicate just from that soldier. It consists of a helmet, body armor, a one-piece coverall, hearing protection, right, from the explosions, protective glasses, a protective set for knees and elbows, a grenade launcher, submachine gun, an assault rifle, sniper rifle, ammunition, and a combat knife, as well as 24/7 reconnaissance means, a day and night sighting system, a small size binocular, optical and thermal weapon sights, etc., etc. Ratnik, or Russian warrior gear is paired up with EMR camouflage. What the hell is EMR camouflage? Sheesh. And you know they got that technology where it could blend with the light or reflect some shit at you, and you can be invisible or some shit. All right, so it can be a futuristic war. As well as these, the system comprises a universal shelter, a multifunctional knife. It's not like they're talking about a building. This is an actual suit. A single lamp, a watch, a winter and summer two-side camouflage set, a autonomous heat source, a backpack, a individual water filter, a small entrenched tool, breath protection devices, means of radiological and chemical control, a medical kit, and a filtering clothes. So you can keep going on and on, man. This Jones ain't no joke. As far as a teched out suit for a soldier. It says the Ratnik protects almost 90% of a soldier's body. All right. So let's get that. All right. So this is what it looks like, and it's also called I was saying that like a skeletal structure. It's exoskeleton technology. Russian exoskeleton technology. You know, make you run faster, lift things stronger, jump higher. Look at that. That's what they going up against. Look at Esau, you ready? Look at that. Whew, your ass, Mr. Postman. All right, might put that snapshot too. All right, so let's end it here, verse 3. Ezekiel 38:3. And say, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. So the Lord has done that. He brought Russia forth since 2014 and 15 and 16. And all thine army, horses and horsemen, okay, so all their army, the Sixth Fleet, I think they call it, they got their whole army ready, even their nuclear army, not just regular ground troops, but the Lord is digging deep into their military infrastructure and bringing forth the nuclear soldiers. All of their army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company. So all these nations gonna come together, and they're gonna have all this armor on, man, with bucklers. So we know what a buckler is now, all kind of shields and protection. And shields, all of them handling swords. Okay, so all of them are being trained right now to handle those missiles and these weapons. to manipulate, chiefly to catch, to lay hold, to seize. Okay, so all of them, it says to use skillfully. And what are they trained for? It says they're going to be skilled in it. It says they also educated. Education brings what? Skill. And through drills, right? Through experience as well. Two forms of experience. You have one through physical experience, where you experience in a situation, like they experience in those drills, through practice and study. But then you have another form of study and education through where you just learn from, So they're educating them in both ways. They're educating thousands of soldiers on how to fight back against attacks from the West on Putin's prized and devastating arsenal of nuclear weapons. All right, so that's right. The world holds their breath as Putin orders 3,000 nuclear missiles troops to be combat ready. So he's educating them and giving them skills to handle those swords. And not only are they training them to kill or to use the nuclear technology, but also to defend against it. All right, so all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company. It's going to be a great company. I mean, a lot of huge armies, man. North Korea, China, Iran, Russia, and other allied countries, Africa. Here they go right here, some of them. All of them handling swords. Persia, that's Iran, Ethiopia, Africa. All the African nations are joining together with Russia. Libya, all right, with them. All of them with shield and helmet. So they're going to be wearing it as well. Just like I showed you the Egyptian soldiers were wearing that Ratnik technology, that warrior technology. All of them with shield and helmet. What has Russia been passing around to these nations? Missile defense shields. All right, so they're passing around this soldier brigandines as well. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah of the North Quarters that goes into Turkey. And all his bands, so all of their allies going to be a part of this too. Probably the biggest army he's ever seen, man. And many people with thee. They're all going to join with Russia as we see it happening in this fight. North Korea just joined in the fight with Russia against America. China just joined the fight with Russia against America and NATO and Ukraine. So all these nations are going to join together. Be thou prepared, man. So the Lord has prepared them. And prepare for thyself, and Russia too. Russia's being prepared, and he's also preparing the weaker nations, all right? They're beating their swords and their plowshares into swords. And let the weak say, I am strong. All right? So they're being prepared and protected by Russia and China and given space to grow, like Iran. They can continue with their nuclear enrichment. All right? They get more confidence because they're all sticking together. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. They're assembling like Voltron on their ass. They're assembling. That just sounds scary. All right, all that company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard, the strongest of all these nations. All right, besides China. So yeah, man, that's the topic. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna end it there, man. Look at this. Woo-wee. That's what's coming. Okay, so the topic is says the world holds its breath as Putin orders 3,000 nuclear missile troops to be combat ready. All right, so that means they're being prepared for combat, not just a drill. The U.S. has been threatened with nuclear strikes on Russian state TV. So, hey, man, we're moving into that time of heavy prophecies breaking out. So, with that, stay focused, stay in the spirit, stay prayed up, and don't give up. Stay ready. With that, I'm going to say shalom.